Here we are.
Here we are.
Hey, Tay.
Hey, George.
It's
How
good
are
to
you?
see you. I'm doing very well. It's been a minute since we've been behind the desk.
It sure has. And we're live with Michaels.
Oh, so
and
good
thank
to
you,
be
Maddie,
here.
for the
Yes.
intro and letting everyone in.
Here,
we're
here.
glad you are all here. There's about 50 of you right now, which is
Sweet.
an honor
It is
to
an
spend our
honor.
Friday afternoon with you.
Yeah,
or
and
whatever
an afternoon.
time it is.
Yeah, because it's 2 p.m. for us.
It is.
I love
So
it.
hello, welcome to mold making, which is a
know.
real switch up for us.
I don't think we've ever done mold making on a Michaels Live before. And I'm going to guess that a lot of you who are watching this right now probably haven't done mold making either. And that this might be a little exciting. So we're going to make it exciting. We're going to have a good time. I'll go over real quick the project that we're going to do. You probably saw this because you're here, but we're going to take this little small terracotta tray that I got from Michaels. We're going to make a mold of it, and then I'm going to turn it into this kind of sea glass, beautiful looking piece. We're going to do all of this process so that you can see it. And then because of the amazing mold maker product, we'll talk about that in a second, we'll actually be able to pour the silicone, and we should be able to demold it while we're live still.
Whoa.
30 minutes. We'll talk about
That's
that.
incredible.
We'll talk about
Awesome.
that in a second.
So Amazing Mold Maker is new from Alumilite, just a couple months old. It's our baby.
That's right.
It has not yet hit Michael's shelves. So if you tried to stock up pre-class, that is why. Later this summer, I believe end of July, early August is when it'll hit shelves. So this is just a preview for you of Amazing Mold Maker and our beautiful rebrand. You'll see our amazing clear cast when we get to that. Even looks a little bit different.
That's right.
Which is very exciting for us. So you get a little sneak peek. You guys are some of the first Michael's customers to get these details.
The first 50. I like it.
So me too.
Should we jump in?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's make some molds.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get going. We're going to get going pretty quickly here. I believe this is going to be posted to YouTube afterwards as well. So first, if you're watching on YouTube later,
Maddie is nodding.
Maddie is nodding.
Yes.
Didn't speak out of turn. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, hi, glad you viewed this. And if you're watching it now, don't worry about taking too many copious notes. You'll be able to go back. You'll be able to watch this, pause, rewind, listen to Tay and I talk again and again and again. So let's just relax and enjoy it together. If you're going to try to do it alongside of us, well, you're going to have to wait for Amazing Mold Maker. So.
Yes. And let me just say real quick, if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at the chat. I'm not being rude, I promise. I'm actually trying to acknowledge all of you and your presence. Right. If you have any questions, put them in the Q&A and some of our awesome team members will answer them, or I will make Jordan answer them live on air. I'll make sure he gets all of your questions answered, and then I'll probably ask him some of my own because I have a lot to learn as well. So
I love it.
Here we go.
Cool. So let's start with real quick some basic terminology when it comes to mold making. So a common phrase you might hear is mold making and casting. Mold making is what we're doing today, and probably what a lot of you have seen and maybe even done is actually the casting half of mold making and casting. That's when you're pouring resin, amazing clear cast or amazing casting resin into maybe a mold that you've bought or something different. That's really fun. I love doing that. That's how I started. But then when you learn the mold making side of things, opportunities and things really get to open up because now you're not beholden to the molds that you can find. Now you can make whatever you want.
Best part by far.
Love it. Absolutely love it. So something like this right here is just a simple terracotta tray can actually be turned into a variety of things.
Here are a few.
I did a ton, and I was just doing this for fun. So here's another clear one, another frosted one that looks like sea glass. I use the amazing casting resin. I just did a bunch of random colored ones as well with tie-dye and all this different stuff. All this comes from the ability to do the mold making side of mold making and casting and the casting half of it too. But today we're talking about mold making. So can we jump in? Can we just
let's make a mold?
Awesome. All right.
I think we're all ready for that. That's
so
what
I've got
here
this.
For.
This is what's called our master. So our master is the object that you're going to be making a mold of. So when you have a master, you need a silicone that works with it. So Amazing Mold Maker is a platinum cure silicone, which means it's high quality. It's going to last a long time. It's beautiful. It's also FDA compliant as well, which means it's actually food safe.
That was a question we already had.
No way.
So way to go. Yep.
Yes. So it's food safe. So if you wanted to make this tray out of chocolate, that's not a problem.
Oh,
make
yes,
the mold,
please.
Make it out of chocolate.
So you're telling me anything I mold with this, I can then make out of chocolate?
Yes.
And we're using resin today. Why?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I could have used dessert after lunch, so we should have done that. I don't know what I was thinking. But you got our master. The next thing we need in the mold making process is a mold box. We need something that's going to contain the silicone that we're about to pour. There are a lot of options when it comes to this. And I figured I'd grab a couple that you might recognize from your home. That's right. These are Ziploc containers. We've got I think I have about 50 of these. None of the matching lids.
No.
I don't have any matching lids.
Perfect for making molds.
Perfect for making molds. You can see if you have a round one, the tray suddenly fits really nice in the round one. That's pretty great. The square one, there's a little bit of extra. Doesn't matter. Get enough material. These will work great. You don't have to worry about building a mold box.
You could even, if you are at home, use like a solo cup or a paper cup, depending on what you're making a mold of and its size, because you can.
That's right. If you're feeling a little bit more exacting, I got this at Michael's as well. Foam core. Foam core works perfectly. You can cut lines, cut it down. What's the word I'm looking for? Crazy glue. The actual foam core to the board, hot glue around. You get yourself a watertight, a silicone tight seal and mold box using foam core as well. We're not going to do foam core today. I've actually got another option here. This is a third option. This is what I'm going to do today. This is just a mixing cup that you would probably use in a resin craft of some kind. I've actually used this one before. It's already kind of seen its days, but it doesn't mean that we can't pour silicone into this.
Sure.
Why not? Turns out as well, if I can show you kind of from overhead here, it turns out that if I put the tray inside this, Matt, if you can, by chance, show me the overhead. Here we go. Now y'all can see if I put my tray just right inside of here, that's pretty great. That's going to work perfectly.
Not a lot of waste there.
Not a lot of waste. We got a little bit of a buffer here, maybe a 1/4 inch or so around all the sides here. That means we're going to have a mold that's going to come out looking really well. That's going to function really well. We got to get this kind of glued down in here, because if I just pour silicone in this, it's going to float up, and that's not going to be what we want. So enter the hot glue gun, everybody.
A crafter's best friend.
A crafter's best friend. So literally all we're going to do is take this. We're going to put a large amount of hot glue right here in the middle, and I'm going to press it down into the center of this thing here. I'm putting it all in the middle, and I'm trying to build it up, because if I put hot glue around this perimeter and I push that perimeter down there, the hot glue is going to squeeze out. It's going to squeeze out from the sides and actually the rim there. And we're going to end up with a mold that has a little bit of gaps, some gaps in there, and that resin will fill those gaps. It's not going to come out crispy.
That makes sense.
Every single time.
That makes sense.
Right? If you use the middle here, what you get is a nice crisp edge on the finished mold. That's beautiful. So it's worth the extra effort here to do this right. So I'm literally, I'm going to pile this on here. I tried to turn the hot glue gun on beforehand. You know, it looks like I need a little bit more glue. I had a feeling this was going to be the case. Here we go. And see, I've even accidentally spilled some over here. That doesn't matter. It's not on the perimeter. That's fine. And I'm just going to go ahead, if I can here. Feels like a lot. I'm used to using the larger industrial hot glue guns. That's kind of my normal modus operandi here. So we'll see if I can do this without ruining this hot glue gun. There we go. There we go. That's
Nice.
what I wanted. All right. So you can see I've used a lot. That's all right. I'm going to put it right down. And that hot glue is going to work right between those two things right there. I'm using a little bit of pressure here just to try to make sure that where the glue sticks to the bottom of the container is really tight. And that if I just kind of set this in here and I let the glue kind of dry, there might be a gap between that lip that's on the bottom and the mold itself. Silicone gets underneath, and then you're going to have to do a lot of cleanup. It'll still work. It's not a problem. But you have more cleanup to do. So
I've got a question that is not one of those fake questions where I pretend I don't know, but I actually do know, because those will be coming.
she does those.
But what I genuinely want to know is, can you use other things that aren't hot glue to put an object down? Other types of glue,
Sure.
tape, I don't know.
Great question. Great question. The answer is yes, you can. You can absolutely use other things to glue something down. But something you have to pay attention to with platinum cure silicones is what's called cure inhibition. So there are some glues that contain certain chemicals that actually cause the material not to cure. So one of those is crazy glue.
Interesting.
cyanoacrylate, I think is the actual term. I always get that wrong. I'm very proud of myself.
We'll call it crazy glue.
Crazy glue. If you use crazy glue and that crazy glue is in contact with the silicone, that silicone's never going to cure.
Got it.
If you could crazy glue this to the bottom and you got a good seal, then it's fine. It's not a big deal.
But you have to trust. That makes sense. Hot glue.
Hot glue is really what I suggest for people when you're just getting started, mostly because I'm betting a lot of you have a hot glue gun right now.
I bet we're going to hear in the chat.
I hope so.
I hope everyone also relates to not having enough glue on hand and then needing to go get more when using your hot glue gun.
I've never, I think, had sufficient glue.
When you do this at home, bring an extra.
Yes. All right. I've put pressure on that. That glue is going to cool off and cure. Enter Amazing Mold Maker. Here we go.
Ooh.
Here we go. Look at this. This is a 16-ounce kit. 2 sides. Had to spin it to the right camera there. There we go. 2 sides. You got side A and side B. We actually gave them, I'll give this box to you here today.
Sure.
We gave them 2 different colors because it makes mixing so much easier. You can see if there's an uncombined swirl here or there that you need to mix up. So we're going to go ahead and use, because of this size, we're going to use all of this kit. This is 16 ounces. And Matt, if you can show me that side camera, I'll show y'all something real quick here. You can see I've actually called this out here 16 ounces. And that 16-ounce mark is just above the lip of our terracotta tray here. So this is the exact amount that we need for this particular container. If you, I can rip through a glove.
Oh,
that's something that happens. I'll get a new one. If you need to know exactly how much silicone you need, you can also go to our website.
Yes, alumilite.com.
And we have a volume calculator on
We
there.
sure do.
So if you want to go to the store, you're headed to Michael's and you're like, but how much do I need to pick up? Do you give yourself a quick calculation on our website, then get in the car, then head to Michael's and then get everything.
We will have larger sizes at Michael's as well, not just the small kits, but the small kits are great for when you're just starting. Yeah. I am getting some mold making specific questions.
Sure thing. It's warm.
So I'm going to start those. One I know we'll get into in more detail.
Sure. Will you hand me the biggest bucket in a stick?
I'm going to hand it to you all because they were stuck together. If you do not have an object with a flat bottom,
sure.
How do you make a mold of that?
Really good question. The answer is it depends, which is my least favorite answer to give you. But honestly, a lot of times if you had an object that wasn't necessarily flat, what you're going to need to do is what's called a 2-part mold. So that's where you actually pour half of the mold.
Yep.
You do some stuff to it because it's very complicated.
It is. I've seen the process.
You do some stuff to it, I'll say for right now, and then you pour the second half. What that gets you is the ability to actually, it gives you 2 parts of the silicone, so you can pull it apart in half. That means it's capturing all the detail on one side and all the detail on the other side.
You're not missing the bottom.
That's right.
That makes a lot of sense.
How you pour that becomes a little bit more complicated. You have pour spouts, you got venting to think about too. So I'm going to say if people are really interested in this, I feel like I would do another Michael's live class on how to do a 2-part mold of maybe some more complex stuff. So I'm just going to throw that out there. If that sounds really good, let us know in the chat.
Yes, please.
We would be happy to get that going for you. In the meantime, I know it's 16 ounces that I need. This kit's 16 ounces. You're going to throw your glasses on. I keep hitting this microphone. I'm so sorry, man. I'm going to need 16 ounces, so I'm not even going to measure this because I know that these are equal sides. But let's say you weren't going to use all 16 ounces.
Sure.
Amazing Mold Maker is measured 1-to-1 by weight or by volume.
Oh, so easy.
So it's up to you.
So easy.
A lot of silicones out on the market are 1-to-1 by weight or 2-to-1.
10-to-1.
10-to-1 is another common one. And we have silicones just like that as well. And those are awesome. But if you're just starting out, it can be a little intimidating, especially if you're coming from the resin side of things. You're used to probably 1-to-1 by volume.
Amazing Clear Cast is 1-to-1. That's all you need.
So why not just start with something else that's 1-to-1? That's how I can look at it. So I'm just going to use the entire bottle here. Give it time to come out there. Here we go. Now, before I pour the red side in, we got to talk about time.
Yep. Talk to me about time.
We got to talk about time.
It is 2:15.
Okay. It is.
Is that the time you mean?
That is not the time I mean.
All right.
But actually, I do want to know that as well. So that was perfect. So it's 2:15 right now. This material, Amazing Mold Maker, has a very short working time. The work time is only 6 to 8 minutes. So what do I mean when I say work time? A lot of people who are used to using resin, amazing clear cast, epoxy, let's say, you're used to like a half hour.
Oh yeah, you've got all the time.
Yeah, so much time. You can mix them up, go get a snack, have a phone call, pour it then. This is not the case. This is something we're going to move pretty quickly on.
I'm ready.
So I'm going to mix fast. I'm going to show you overhead what I'm doing here. And probably within 60 seconds, I'm going to go from putting these two together, mixing them, and pouring it into the mold.
Oh, that is very fast.
So we're going to go pretty quickly here. I'm going to talk you through the whole thing. Bear with me. Are you ready?
Yeah, well, you do that because I know you're good at multitasking. If I only wanted to use, let's say, 8 ounces total.
Okay.
Is that fine to just seal that bottle right back up? What's going to happen? Am I good to go?
Great question.
Thank you.
The answer is yes. You are completely fine to use 6 ounces, seal this back up, and go for it. These materials, all these types of materials, resin and silicones, do have a shelf life.
Sure.
It's a long shelf life, so you don't need to worry about, oh man, I got to use this by tomorrow, right? You've got some time here to use it, but yeah, do 2 projects over the course of a couple of months. You'll be fine.
I love it.
No worries.
I love it.
All right, I'm going to put this right here in the middle so that you can see it. I've got my white in here. We've colored this a beautiful red.
Do you need me to set a timer or are you good?
You know, I feel like I'm going to trust my instincts.
You've already started pouring. So
I already committed, you know? So I'm going to get all of this out of the bottle. And again, I'm using all of it. But if you weren't using all of it, you'd want to use the graduated cup that actually has the measurements on the side. That way you can get an exact mixture here. So
those are the best.
They are the best. I use them all the time. And
also, the silicone color is my favorite. It's so satisfying.
It's my favorite. Here we go. They're mixed up. Got you right in the overhead. And you can see, I'm just going to mix it up. I'll even pause. You can see the 2 colors are coming together really pretty quickly. I mean, it combines it easily. Now, it might be hard for you to see, but there are definitely some swirls in here. And you're going to notice that when you're using the material. There's some striations. It looks really Christmassy right
It does.
now.
Candy cane.
Candy cane vibes. 100% candy cane. But I'm going to go ahead and mix up pretty quickly. Now, oftentimes when people see somebody just whipping up resin, they're panicking and they're going, there's so much air. You just added so much air. Well, silicone naturally likes to degas. It likes to let go of that air. If you want to get rid of all the extra air, you can degas this.
I have done that, actually.
You have done that. 100%. We'll scrape off the stick, make sure we're getting all the material.
How quick do you have to degas if you're degassing?
You got to be speedy.
So it's in the pot right now.
It's in the pot.
The case. Got it.
You're going to have to degas faster. And that's because this is a much quicker curing silicone. And with other silicones, if you want to get from Michael's, you could use amazing mold rubber.
Yes.
Amazing mold rubber, which is a tin cure silicone, has a much longer open time where you could easily degas and go from there. But I would recommend no degassing on this one, especially if it's your first time. Do it a couple times. Get comfortable. Try something new. Then get yourself degassing, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, and you're not going to notice bubbles like you would in an epoxy project.
Not at all.
It could, there could be a couple bubbles around the part that you're making a mold of, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And so when you do your casting after that, you might see those kind of imperfections, but you're not going to have, I don't have anything on hand with epoxy. You're not going to have to torch it, let's say. Things like that.
Yeah, we do not want to torch the silicone. So, all right, I'm mixed up. Tay, do you see any striation in there?
I don't. Couple bubbles, no biggie.
Couple bubbles, but those are going to release. So I'm going to pull my master back in. We're completely cleared off here. Get everything off.
All right. Now you're just going to flash it on there?
No, that's a great question. I'm not going to do that.
All right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to pour slowly, consistently, and I'm going to pick one spot, and I'm going to pour there. I'm also not going to pour directly onto the part itself. So I'm going to go just off to the side here.
I knew that. I was asking one of those fake questions.
She's smart, folks. Don't let her trick you. And then I'm just going to pour nice and slow, nice and steady. I'm lifting up. Oh, I got on the part. That's okay. I'm lifting up gently just a little bit here. And when you extend the length of the pour, can help pop some of those bubbles that are existing.
I did not know that one, or I would have asked a fake question.
There you go.
I have a safety question.
Safety question.
Are we safe using this with no respirators on?
Yes.
Okay, the good. A little late if not.
Yeah. Also, even if that wasn't the case, let's say we're mixing up some resin, which we will do in a little bit here. We're in a much larger, well-ventilated area.
We are in a huge room.
We're in a huge room right now. So we don't have to worry about that as much. But if you're in a much smaller space, if you're in a closet at home, right, I highly recommend wearing a respirator for sure.
With silicone as well, or mostly just epoxies?
Mostly just epoxy. Silicone's not something that you really need to be wearing. Our silicones, I should say, aren't something you need to be wearing a respirator for. So
big fan.
Yes, does make making a lot easier in that way. So.
All right, another one. They're coming in hot.
I'm pouring pretty quickly here as well,
yes,
just so we can keep going.
If I am going to pressure cast my resin after this, which is something we'll get into if you don't know what I'm talking about.
Great question.
Then I have to degas this mold first?
The answer to that is absolutely yes.
All right.
Absolutely yes, you need to do that. Also, by the way, the part completely covered. We measured up. It's hitting exactly 16 ounces on the side. This is fantastic.
Love that.
You can see the bubbles will pop. If you want to just go ahead and gently tap the sides, encourage them a little bit, give them a little extra love.
Little jazz hands.
I've been a drummer for about 17 years now, so this
there
is where
you go.
I practice
it's
my
your time to shine.
That's right. Yeah, if you're gonna pressure cast with silicone, the reality is there can still be a little bit of air within the actual walls of the silicone itself. So when you suddenly add a lot of pressure, you're crunching that air inside of your mold, and that means the mold's actually changing shape. So it's actually going to change the shape of your part a little bit. Might be microscopic feeling at first, but after a while you can really kind of notice those differences. So if you're pressure casting, if you're doing anything like that, you got to degas.
Got it.
Cool.
Gonna hand you that, but also I'm gonna hand you that.
You're handing me a question, I feel.
I am.
Fantastic. I'll take it.
Will that mold,
yes,
and things cast in it from there on out, will they be shiny or will they be dull?
Great question. They will be, I'm not going to say dull.
Okay.
Because I feel like people will emotionally tie the word dull to it.
They're going to think we're boring.
Exactly. They will be matte. They will be frosted, whatever you want to say. Silicone picks up, I cannot stress this enough. Silicone picks up an unbelievable amount of detail. We're talking fingerprint level detail. Wow. Yeah, a lot of detail.
Watch out.
So when you make a mold of this terracotta tray, for example, it's going to pick up the texture that is that terracotta tray.
Okay.
Yep.
Hence the frosty look.
That's right.
Okay.
Let's say you wanted something really glossy. You wanted to make a mold of something and you wanted it to be crystal clear and really, really shiny. Well, you're going to need to use something that is really, really shiny.
Okay.
Really, really high gloss finish will actually get you a similar thing, a similar finish. This is a mold that we made with another amazing mold maker off of this glass right here. And the results are really, really shiny when we make molds of this. It almost looks exactly like this. We have had
fingerprints even show up on the castings. Oh, yeah. I don't think we have one around.
I don't think we do.
That's okay.
Now. Yep. So you can see the difference here. Whatever goes into that mold, whatever silicone gets poured over it, that's what's going to be coming out of the mold as well. Silicone is extremely, extremely high fidelity.
Glass in, glass out.
Glass in, glass out. She took the words right.
I have a couple notes on that, actually, if we have a moment.
Yes, we do.
Great.
Let's take a second.
The more you cast in a mold, it will wear down. So your castings can start becoming dull because your mold is tired and or shot at that point, depending on how many times you have poured into it and cast out of it. That being said, one of our makers recently posted something on Instagram that I had never seen before. That makes so much sense. She made a mold of something that was a little too dull for her liking. She demolded it and then poured a thin layer of amazing mold maker right over top. Yep. And it was nice and shiny and glossy because it was no texture, filled in all the gaps. You can find that video on our Instagram if you're looking for a visual, but gave a little new life to something that was a little dull.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great tip.
The makers, they know more than me, and I'm okay admitting that. But I love to learn.
That's awesome.
For poppy seed, the
poppy seed.
open time is 6 minutes.
Yeah, the work time, open time, very similar, 6 to 8 minutes. It's a little bit heat dependent, just a little bit, not too much.
It's toasty in here.
Yep, it's a little warm. But I highly encourage people to try to mix up and get it poured within about 2 minutes. That just helps give those bubbles that you might have whipped in there more time to rise to the top. If you mix for all 8 of those minutes and then you try to pour, well, the silicone's starting to cure at that point, and those bubbles that you might have integrated, well, they don't have any time to escape. Can't go anywhere. They're going to get locked in. So I poured that as quick as I did because I want to give those bubbles time. That's why I do that. Makes sense?
We've got a demold time of 30 minutes.
That's my favorite part of
which means pretty soon we'll be able to demold that live
hilarious.
on camera.
Hilarious.
That's wild.
It's 100%
That
true.
is wild.
So we're going to do that in a little bit. But in the meantime, I want to show you how I got this really cool, fun, translucent color casting. So I have another mold that I've already made of that exact terracotta pot. You can actually tell. I'll show you this on camera here a little bit. Inside, we'll see this when we demold, but inside this is textured, right? So this isn't high gloss. This is textured. That's how much detail that silicone's going to pick up. So I'm just going to use our amazing clear cast here. I've got side A and side B. That tray, I did some measuring, is 4 ounces. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour 2 ounces of side B. Take my time here.
Will this be done by the time we're wrapping up the live?
You know, unfortunately, it will not.
Okay.
So,
you know, the process is what counts.
You know, I just want to teach everybody how to do some mold making, but I couldn't do mold making.
Can't resist not the casting part.
I couldn't live with myself on that. Not on a Friday. Not on a Friday. And then I'll do another 2 ounces of side A as well. Let's talk color, shall we?
Let's.
When we kind of did this tray the first time, I really liked, I think it was your idea.
Oh, it was.
It was. She remembers. I think it was your idea to make it look like sea glass.
Yes.
Which is honestly super easy with another product that Michael's has on the shelves, which is the alcohol ink.
Matt, where are you?
Here you go. Look at that.
These do come in packs of usually 3, I believe.
Yes.
This one's our most sea glass like, which is Laguna.
Ooh.
Which is very fitting.
Laguna. I like it.
Yes.
So if you've never mixed up resin before, a 2-second tutorial on mixing up resin. I like to do a lot more folding here. We're going to scrape the stick, scrape the bottom, scrape the sides. We want all those parts to combine, and we're looking for a nice clear finish as well. You can see right now it's a little cloudy, it's a little murky. That means we have more mixing to do, so we'll keep going on that. And then when it comes to the alcohol inks, once I got this all mixed up, I'm going to add more than you might imagine. And the alcohol inks are very thin. Their density's they're not super heavy, right? So a little bit more gives the final color that we want. If you're using another dye, just pay attention to that manufacturer's specific input in tutorials, how-to, directions. That's the actual word, directions. Goodness me. Pay attention to their directions. Alumilite has some dyes, and they're very potent. So I would not recommend using the amount of dye for Alumilite as you are about to see me do. It'll basically turn black. Basically turn way too dark.
That is not sea glass.
No, it is not whatsoever. So I've got my material. I only did 4 ounces, and if you can't tell from how flush I am right now, it's very warm in here.
It is hot.
It's hot. So I'm going to go ahead and scrape the sides of my stick, make sure I get all that combined. This is very thin because it's easy to mix. The warmer your space, the thinner your epoxy becomes, but also the faster the cure time, right?
Okay.
So you have to pay attention to that. I've got my material mixed. I'm going to go ahead and set it right here. Just put my stick there for half a second.
Well, Jordan adds this alcohol ink. I want to know if anyone has any questions about the epoxy side of this process. Go ahead and throw them in the Q&A so we can give you a hand.
Yes, please.
Ooh, look at that color.
I know. It's rich. And you can see, I mean, alcohol inks, they just look a little bit different than other types of resin dyes out there. So don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Michael's just got you covered. All right. Use the alcohol inks. They're great. You just have to kind of dial in the color that you want. And I'm going for maybe just a little bit darker on this one. We did some light ones. We did some medium ones.
We did. A little trial and error to get us here.
That's right. Got to test the projects first. Got to give them a shot. And then you can see now, this is a beautiful color. A beautiful color. Nice, simple green. all even. It's nice and hot in here too, so it's time to get this in the mold.
All right. When you mixed up that epoxy, does it matter? Do you pour A into B? Do you pour B into A? Can you pour both at once?
Here's the thing.
It's your recommendation.
You can do whatever you want with those two things. I'm not going to promise that they're all easy. You can technically do A and B at the same time.
That'd be fun.
I don't know how that's going to go. I don't think it's going to go well for you, but I highly recommend pouring B first and then pouring A. The A side is a little bit thicker naturally. So if you pour that first, it has a tendency to stick to the walls, right? So you have to do a little bit more scraping. If you pour side B first, then A goes into B, everything becomes a little bit more homogeneous out the gate.
So you're a B first, then A type epoxy stirrer. Noted.
I don't know what that means.
Me either.
But
make a personality test.
Yep. Oh yeah, let's do that. I like that idea.
What kind of epoxy mixer are you?
B into A and the B, both at the same time. All right, we've got our mold here. We'll demold that one in a minute, but we've got our finished mold. You could use some mold release if you wanted to on this. That helps extend the life of your mold. That's up to you. But you don't technically need a mold release for this. If you, let's say, make a mold of something really big, huge, and then you pour a really large amount of amazing clear cast, let's say 4 inches thick by 12 and 12, whatever.
You can do that?
You cannot do that. That's so much heat.
Okay.
That's so much exotherm. You got to pay attention to the resin that you're casting with when you're doing the casting half of things. Use the right resin for the part that you're replicating. This tray is a fine size for amazing clear cast.
Okay.
No issues here. Not a problem. So there's not going to be a lot of exotherm. We're going to be all right. So I've got my mold here. I've got my material. I'm just going to pour right in.
All right.
If you want, go ahead and ask the questions. I am going to grab a torch.
Okay.
Real quick.
I love the torch time, so I'm glad. This is a great question about mold storage that I actually have some insight into because I was trying to clean one of these bad boys earlier. So if you have molds that you've made, they do have a lifespan as well, depending on how many pulls you get out of them or castings. But definitely consider storing them in something covered because they collect dust like crazy, or dirt, or other pieces of resin that are around. They really collect anything that you have sitting around, not just when curing, but afterwards. And they can be kind of a pain to clean. Today, we used some alcohol and paper towel, but even then you can still get paper towel fuzzies.
That's right.
Compressed air usually works well. I mean, there are a bunch of different ways, but the easiest way is prevention. So one of those, I see a lot of, I'm in a lot of like Facebook groups for this stuff because I got to know what's going on.
Of course.
If you're in one, invite me. Those like 3 drawer bins with that pull. Sometimes you use them in a closet in college, very college closet. Yes. Those are perfect for mold storage. We have ours in a milk crate and they are filthy. So
they are filthy. A lot of it depends too on how often you're using them.
Yes.
So I use mine, I mean, every day. That's what we do for work.
That's our job.
So we're using them all the time. So we wanted really quick, easily accessible mold storage. So just depends on what you're using your mold for, how often as well. I've poured this, I've filled this up. I'm just tapping the sides a little bit. If you can imagine the tray, this is the trick with mold making here. Let's do a demo for a hot
second. Okay, I'm ready.
So we're gonna imagine our tray is like this. That's what it looked like when we actually poured our silicone to make our mold. Well, now that we're casting right here, this tray is actually upside down. So it's actually upside down, which means we have a different kind of air release path that this material needs to go through. So I'm going to see there's a couple ledges here. There's some of that type of stuff. I'm just going to help this by tapping the sides to make sure any air that's on those sides gets out a little bit easier.
That's so nice of you.
Hey, I care about this.
Yes. I am going to take off my safety glasses because they are fogging up.
Yeah,
that's how warm it is in here.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
It's toasty. We should just do a challenge where it gets hotter and hotter in here and we try to play it cool.
What's happening right now.
Yeah. And we're not playing it cool. I'm sorry, everyone. We're doing a bad job.
Here's the thing. You can use a torch to get rid of air and resin. There's a couple other things you can do as well. You can do heat guns. You can do a fine alcohol mist as well. And you can also use a hair dryer. I don't recommend it though. I feel like I got to say this every time. It's a lot of work. It's just a lot of air.
Yeah.
Right? And you can splash, and I've
got a question for you.
Yes.
The torch and the alcohol ink.
Yes.
Fire hazard?
Great question. Most of the time, yes. Not something you want to do, right? I didn't use a ton.
Yep.
And I've integrated into my material.
Okay.
So it makes it much, much safer.
Yep.
I still recommend that you don't necessarily do that you use a heat gun or whatever.
Yep.
I know that I'm comfortable doing this.
So if you're doing the drippy drops of alcohol ink.
The Petri dish?
Yeah, the Petri dish, the lava lamp style. You're saying no, because it's just right on the surface.
You've got it. Yeah. Okay. What you'll do is you'll hit your torch on there and you'll be really, really happy about it. And then everything will, first of all, catch fire. And it'll terrify you for a second. Mm-hmm. And then after that, a lot of it will go away because you're burning off the actual alcohol.
That makes so much sense.
Yes. So I've got it integrated, so I'm okay here. But I recommend that a heat gun's a great place to start. Let's say this is your first mold. You're just new to castings as well. Get a heat gun.
I think we've got one right here.
We do have a heat gun. I like the torch. So, but use the heat gun, I think, is a good way to start out as well. So
awesome.
Very cool.
All right, we've got a couple minutes left on the mold curing.
Yes, we do.
So I want to know what people want to know about us, about Alumilite.
Yes.
About Amazing Mold Maker.
Yes.
Amazing Clearcast.
I might also be able to find real quick a 2-part mold to explain that as well.
I'll hang out here. Cool? I'll entertain the people.
What questions do you have? Even if you have other questions about other products, Amazing Casting Resin is another product that we have that does this amazing stuff as well.
I'll show these other trays we've made. I'll just put those out. I'm just gonna. No one has any questions. I get it. We're not that interesting.
It's okay. I already found the 2-part mold. It was pretty quick.
You know where your things are.
I like to be organized. Mm-hmm. I like to be organized. So this is also, it's also Amazing Mold Maker. And this is a 2-part mold I did really quickly to show you. You can actually see, in order to cast something like a wrench, that might seem flat at first. It's actually not flat at all. And there's a bunch of details within it. There's logos and brands, and there's this connection here, right? This is the actual orange one that I used Amazing Casting Resin to do here. So that's a fun little plastic thing. This is just a test, but you can see there's these things called registration marks that allows the mold to lock into each other, right? Pretty fun in that way. There's different moments and different points in which you got to put registration. And then when you push them together, they lock in pretty much exactly. And then you just add a little pour spout there. That's where you actually pour in your resin. So 2-part molds, a completely different thing. If y'all want a class on 2-part molds, let me know. I'll go through this. This is
all right. I think that's a good one. We've had a couple questions about that, but then also about these, which could be a fun one next time. Is a little tie-dye resin class. I think that's great.
Yes.
Can you put that in a pressure pot? Amazing Clearcast in a mold.
Could this right here?
Yeah. Could you just go throw that in a pressure pot?
Sure. Why not? This one, I don't think, I did not vacuum. I did not degas the silicone. So technically I wouldn't, but if I had degassed this, it goes right in the pressure pot for, in this case, the full 24 hours for the cure as well. So this is also a 3D print of the character Darth Vader that I did in casting resin that I used Amazing Mold Maker to do a mold of this.
I remember.
You remember that?
Yep.
And then I actually used, again, Amazing Casting Resin to get this very cool tie-dye finish as well. So the options, folks, I'm telling you, you go to Michael's, you get yourself some mold making material, you get yourself some casting material, things get really fun really, really quickly. All right. We're going to test really fast how cured our silicone mold is up here.
Ugh. All right. How are you going to test that?
So first of all, I'm not going to
stick your hand in it.
I'm not going to stick my hand in
Okay. That's what I would do. And then I would.
Don't do that.
The amount of times I've gotten silicone or epoxy on my hands is unfortunate. Wear gloves. Wear gloves. Safety first.
Safety first. Wear gloves. There's been a lot of like that, hey, kind of like action. So I'm just going to use, instead of my hands, I'm going to use just a stir stick like this. And now I'm just going to touch the top. And what do you know? Look at that. That is.
Oh, no way. It hasn't even been 30 minutes.
Y'all, it's 240 right now.
I think we were pouring at 217. 216.
I don't know why I keep hitting and jabbing this, but just maybe because it's just that satisfying to be able to go from pouring.
All right, drum roll, please.
Demolding. So I'm going to move this over here.
You would normally be the one to do the drum roll because you drum. So hopefully someone in the audience.
Please do a drum roll for me. It's also probably going to take me a hot second to do this as well. But
no, let's just zoom in on Jordan struggling.
In silence. There you go. I like that.
Just a lot of ASMR.
So you can see the actual, I'm just pulling the walls apart and you can actually see how it changes color there.
Ooh.
You see how it's now contacting the silicone, not contacting. So when it's not contacting all around, that means this will actually release. But we still have our part in there. If I flip this upside down, you can see, oh, look, there's that hot glue. There's our tray. So this probably doesn't want to just pop out of there.
Can I get you a knife?
You know what? I've got...
You probably have one. The man has it all.
You know, I've got a Leatherman. That'll do the trick here. So I'm just going to cautiously, carefully, just going to score down that side. And then this, I can just kind of slowly rip away. If you have paper, this is much easier.
Yeah, paper. Like I said, paper cups are so easy for this because you can just tear them right off. Tupperware is a little more flexible than these cups that we're using, so you can kind of flex it out of the bottom. But also, if you use something like this, you can just rip it. You can just rip it. Make it on a stressful day and take your anger out on it. I don't know. I'm not going to give you advice. That stupid email. You know, you can say what you're angry about too. It really helps the process. You sounded like Nick Miller from New Girl right there. Yes. Yes. There, spirit animal. There it is. All right. So this is going to come off because I've hot glued it to it. So this is probably going to actually demold the tray as I pull the silicone off. So I'm going to give Matt the best shot I can of getting this out. So you can see there. See how it's coming right off? That's what we want to see. And there's probably a lot of suction. That's okay. Just pay attention to that. Not a big deal. The silicone's really strong, has a high, what they call tear strength. So you're not going to rip it or have to worry about ripping it in any way. And there you go. Look at that. Hey, that looks familiar. You made a mold. I made a mold. 20 minutes? 25. I mean, this is not only is this a fairly quick live, this is also completely done as well, which is just wild to me. Yeah. So if you used amazing casting resin, you could have a tray in 15 minutes. You could have it. Oh, again. Yeah. So in total time, this tray took me from front to back 45 minutes. Oh my gosh. 45 minutes I had this made from that Terra. Here we go. This is a game changer. Absolutely amazing mold maker. When is it going to be available at Michael's? End of July, early August, I believe. Woo. We are getting it packaged to send their way. Love it. Got to get them all the sizes. Got to get them all the details. Got to post this class online so everyone knows what they're doing once they get it. So you got a little bit of time here, folks, to think about what project you want and to ask questions. And to figure out maybe, what you're going to cast as well. Yeah. This works awesome for gift giving. If you want to do custom gifts in that way, if you want to make molds and of anything really that you want to try out, this is the material I highly, highly recommend to start. Next time, forgiving. We're doing chocolate. I think we should. I think we should do a little, I think we should do some food. Yes, I think food all the way. Maybe some other resins of ours that we sell. Ooh. We sell a couple at Michael's, and we have a new one coming out. That is our amazing quick coat. Heyo. Dropping some secrets here. Heyo. I believe that'll be in stores around the same time as Mold Maker. It's also on our website right now, but go to Michael's. Go to Michael's. Get it there. Get it there. You'll be able to coat and cast things in a third of the time. That's right. I like speed. You know what I mean? I like going fast. That plus that, speed. Easy peasy. Speedy. Any questions or remaining things that people want to see? It feels like a trick. You feel like this would take 2 hours to pull this off. Right. It's taking 45 minutes. No, people are very excited about Mold Maker, about chocolate. Me too. About 2-part molds. Same. All of the above. Same. Sounds like we just need to get some more people on our team. I like it. Because they're so into it. I love it. They're going to make better molds than we are. Guaranteed. Cooler things. Love it. As soon as you get this, tag us on Instagram with what you're making. Tag Michael's. Let's show it off. Here. If you have any questions or want to find out more about these products, head to Michael's. Ask the helpful people there. They're here to help. These products are in Michael's. Everything I've used today is from Michael's. You can do this
all just by going to Michael's. So go to Michael's. Well, if you're at work now, wait until after work and go to Michael's. But if you're not at work
Put
right
some
now,
PTO in.
hit the X button on this real fast. Get in the car and let's get going. All right.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us so much. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you. I have a quick drop. You can find us on Instagram at Alumilite Co. CO at the end. You can reach out to us. You'll probably reach Sydney, who's been answering all of your questions in the chat because she's a gem. And then Sydney will bug Jordan until he gives you an answer.
I will. I'll give it to you.
And we'll be here for you, but so will Michael's. So
That's right.
head to them as well.
You're here. Take care, everybody.
Awesome.
See you next time.
Thank you.